Live and the Nate Zelinsky Podcast. This is all about education, scouting, building patterns, and being successful on public land and a do-it-yourself style hunt. A huge thanks to all of our partners, including Bowtech Archery, Diamond Archery, Excalibur Crossbows, Vortex Optics, Ford Trucks, Slumberjack, Bass Pro Shops of Denver, Mr. Heater, Turkey Creek Studios, Ripcord Rest, Tight Spot Quivers, and Black Gold Sights. Join us every Monday night live at 7 p.m. Pacific on the Bowtech Archery or Nate Zelinsky Facebook pages, bowtecharchery.com, and or the Nate Zelinsky YouTube channel. And remember, tag and share this live feed with your friends and bring your big game questions. And here's your host, Nate Zelinsky.
Go to bowtecharchery.com. You'll see a big banner at the top, and we have an entire page, Bowtech Live.
Perfect.
And look, we're live.
We're live. Guys, I am Nate Zelinsky. Joining us tonight, literally hijacking the studio, the man himself who put it all together, the digital strategy of Bowtech, Mr. Tim Glom.
Thank you.
Now, we've been talking about this. Everybody's been following Tim Glom. Might not know who you are,
No.
but you are the person I've been in the woods with, 10, 15 days out of the last 30 days, chasing these big, giant bulls. You're the guy that has hunted a lot, hasn't really chased trophy-style bulls, but you're into it.
I'm your typical guy. I'm your guy who goes every year. I have a very low success rate. I hear you get an elk every 7 years. Well, I'm that guy. So
okay, we had to step in front of bulls, young bulls, to save their lives this week with you because you wanted to pull that trigger.
Oh, man. I saw spikes, and I was like, hey, here we go. Yeah.
I mean, just one of those things. But
Oh, and by the way, no, go ahead. Sorry.
You just wanted to bring on, guys. Tonight's the show, wrapping up your hunt. We want to talk about the failures. We want to talk about the good, the bad. We want to talk about what we did, what we succeeded at, what we failed at, and basically how the hunt was, especially from the perspective of myself, who chases elk 24/7, and yourself, who's getting into it just, odds and ends and bits and pieces.
Yeah, so, learned a lot, man. Learned a lot this year.
Walk through the season, talk through all our other hunts. I just got off the mountain sheep hunting, had to come back just to do this live feed. That sheep hunt is absolutely brutal. Today, not that you want to hear this, but we're hunting sheep near where we elk hunt, and I probably saw 15 bulls a day just screaming their brains out while looking for sheep. Didn't see Ricky, so we're fine there. We'll talk about Ricky here in a second, but the sheep hunt continues. We passed up some other sheep, though. We continue to see sheep. It's the toughest unit, in the state of Colorado, the lowest odds of almost any unit in the state, and we keep running into these small half-curl rams, and really we're looking for that mature 3/4, that full curl ram. We got 12 days left. Today we had 13. We have, I believe, 12 days left of the season. We'll be hunting every day, and we'll see what happens to it. And obviously, it comes down to the wire. You got to make those decisions.
You guys have been hitting it hard. I know, because even when we were elk hunting, we were doing a lot of scouting for sheep. I found a horn.
Absolutely. Found a sheep.
But you guys have been hitting it hard, man. I'm glad I'm not on that hunt.
The sheep thing is brutal because the elk. So you hear the elk bugling, you hear him screaming, you can see him from a ways off, and it really helps the entire situation. As opposed to the sheep, there's no volume, there's no sound, and literally these things are popping up 5 to 8 miles apart every time you're out there. So, literally every time you get in the woods, they're 5 miles this day, they're 8 miles over here this way. So the patterning of these sheep has just flat out been brutal. So it's been tough on that aspect. But we're hitting hard and doing that. We also wrapped up this archery season with my wife, who had a tag.
Mandy, yeah.
Now, the one thing about my wife, Mandy, hardcore hunter.
Yes.
Sheep, mountain goats, big elk. She's harvesting everything. And she plays the trophy hunter for somewhat. We live on the meat, and that's the one thing we want to talk about too tonight is talk about the trophy hunting aspect. We live on the meat. We have to have 2 elk-sized animals. If not, we have to have 2-3 deer. We definitely have to have a large quantity of meat when it comes to that. But we don't have to shoot a bull that we don't want to. If it's a situation of, hey, this bull's in a couple of years going to be a big mature bull, let's go shoot a cow in the later season. Let's shoot some deer. So there's a lot of opportunity there. So with that, she passed up a lot of bulls just for the fact that, hey, why do we have to? Everybody dreams of a 300-inch bull, a 350, a 400, whatever your goals are. A 275. You can never kill a 300 when you kill the 250. You can't kill the 300. You know what I mean?
There's another
whacking these bulls.
There's another side to that story, though, Nate, which was my story, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I hear you there. You'll never kill the 300 if you kill the 250. But sometimes you never kill anything because you try and kill the 400.
It happens.
Talk about trophy hunting. We'll get into that later. Hey, Devin, I see a couple of comments. They're asking for the Instagram camera to be tilted up just a bit. Devin's your producer who crushes it every Monday, now Tuesdays.
Talk about a stressful job. I sit up here in the lights and it looks great. Again, you can't see behind us, but there's cameras and
there's a lot that goes into this,
25 miles of cable here. So
and hey, I want to thank again. We have some people that probably joined just a few minutes ago because a text alert went out. So I want to thank everybody that uses that keyword watch. It's a great way to get to you. So thank you for you guys coming in and tuning into the feed, and everybody on Instagram, Facebook, and our website. So
good. We're having some audio issues.
Yeah, Nate has audio issues.
Good. Everything on my monitor?
Yeah, we're good.
Perfect. Good. Beautiful. All right, guys. So we're going to start into the show. Again, been sheep hunting, been that. I want to start off by playing a couple clips here real quick. So again, if you're on Instagram, jump over. I want to first start off talking about some of the bulls that Mandy passed up. Opportunities. She passed up some bulls. Wow. We had some other opportunities of bulls being out of range. And that's another big thing that we always talk about is that shot opportunity, because so many of us let the excitement get the best of us, and we take that shot that's not there. So we had a couple bulls that Mandy was going to shoot that came just outside of her range. Okay. Hey, and whether that's, in this situation, this bull is coming through the trees, she's like, hey, that bull's 40 yards, there's trees all over the place, we'll back off. You know what I mean? Wait until it gets closer. And she kept looking at me and literally making fun of me. The one night she looked over at me and she passed this bull, and she's like, hey, she goes, I've seen 100 videos of you calling bulls into 10 feet. She's like, get him closer. And I'm sitting there like, pulling my hair up, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Right? It's hunting.
We had a lot of opportunities of young bulls that literally were asking us to please end the life.
We saw those.
They're like, hey, my shoulder's right here, just shoot me. But again, they weren't the right bulls for the right opportunity. But we're going to play some clips here real quick. Again, if you're on Instagram, jump over. If not, guys, check out a couple of these clips from our hunts this week. Now, this hunt here was awesome. So we literally had these cows. You're watching this come through on Instagram. Jump on over. We're watching these cows. We have cows come to one side of us, and this bull just working. The bull wanted to go to his bed on the one side, but the cows wouldn't let him. And it was just the perfect scenario of where those cows just kept sucking that bull over. And this bull actually walked a similar path to what he's doing right there 3 times, presenting shot opportunities from 26 yards to 34 yards, stopping in the openings, everything you wanted. He's just that bull. He's heavy. And he's literally 3.5 years old. He's a bull that is going to be an amazing bull one day. He has all the characteristics, everything that we need out of him. So we let him walk.
So let me understand, because you guys were in a stand on this one?
Oh, that one was on the ground. Now, this one here, we're getting on the stand. This is the one here that came in.
Got it.
This one was just a little too far away. We called him back in and just could not get the shot on him. This is a 6 there. He's got good swords. Still a young bull, but right here he's just a little too far from us. Working back around, he came in and just shot opportunity. Couldn't get it drawn. Couldn't draw behind the blind when he's at 18 yards. Couldn't draw in front of us when there's a stick in the way. Just the very typical scenarios of archery hunting.
I mean, I love how easy you make it on him. There's only about 5,000 trees in the shot. Like, this is a great spot. Let's post up here.
No,
that's cool.
It's just what it is, And this bull, as he walks away, gives us an opportunity, and this is where it gets a little too far. So we're walking right there.
Been there.
She's in full draw. We're getting ready, and he stops. And I range it, and she says, just a little too far for me.
Oh, man, look at him chuckling there. Oh, man.
But we had that all week. I mean, encounters after encounters. We that one day for us, we thought there was one bull. We got set up in a really open spot.
Oh, my gosh.
Too open for what we thought it would be. We bugle one time, and all of a sudden, 5 bulls come running in?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. The whole harem, everything came up above tree line. It was just like, what? It's like a party.
Just bulls after bulls. But again, that's what archery is. And we talk about that because you have to build it for what your goals are. What your expectations are. You had a friend with us on one of those hunts.
Yep.
Traveling from out of state, and you passed up 5 bulls in 5 minutes.
He was so aggravated.
Just freaking out. But it is what it is. You have to make it for what it is. In our situation, we have a great tag. We've been scouting great animals. We have, big animals, and we dedicate to them. And that's a lot of times what our goals are there.
Yeah. So. Well, and I think we should talk about what we set out to do, because we went live as early as mid-July.
Yep.
And we were out there early, right? And we found Ricky.
Yep.
And come 2 days ago, end of season, not only do I not have Ricky down, I don't have, Skippy down. I don't have the Spike that's bouncing along, like you said, kill me, kill me.
Yep.
So I think it's important to understand, you know, setting out those goals and what were our goals. Because a lot of people watch us, see these big bulls, and it's easy to say, nah, they didn't get it. They didn't know what they're doing. They got lucky on the scope cam. But we were there, man. We were in it.
We got on it a lot. You know, the closest we had a great shot at Ricky, you know, was at that 80-yard mark.
Yeah, 80, right on the crest of the hill.
But to be totally honest with you, I've never seen a bull like Ricky. I mean, we kill big bulls. It's not that we don't get big bulls. Ricky was one of those bulls that we had a pattern until he gathered cows. The second he gathered cows, he literally turned into this unicorn ghost. You know, we've been seeing footage of him. We've been talking about him. And we got into him, but never on a pattern. Ricky would show up one day, you know, in this particular spot, and then 5 days later he would reappear 6 miles away. And then 8 days later, 6 miles away over here. He never gave us a chance, really, to be honest, to put a hardcore hunt on him. You know, a hunt being 3-4 hunts, 5 hunts in a row. Ricky was that bull that every day we spent trying to pattern and always kept us on his tail end. Seeing cows, seeing tracks. That's always kept us.
That's how you get to be a 6-7-year-old bull, though. You don't act like a 2- and 3-year-old bull. So, but what was important to me when we set this out is we were going after a trophy, right? And that's what we hunkered down to because, to your point, we saw a lot of bulls. I mean, we drew on bulls. We had bulls, as you mentioned, come back up the hill when they're going to bed, coming back at 50 to 60 yards, 45 yards, one of them. And our camera guy's like, shoot one of these things. Yeah. But we were going for trophies, and there were 4 potentials. Yep. And I could have taken a shot on Lenny. Yep. Right, heavy right, the son
Lenny,
or
you
grandson.
Haven't heard Lenny. We have a little. Can you repeat this? The naming of Lenny.
Yes.
So Larry is the senior lopsided bull. Now, guys, I know we're joking around here, but you saw Larry. I mean, an absolute mega bull. You know, he's just kind of deformed. He's got one main antler, and he's broken off on his other one.
Giant.
And as he goes down the genetics of 8 generations that we know of, Tim came up with our concept.
So there's a taxonomy on how you're going to name these animals. Number one, when you see the first one, you're going, whoa! You just spit out a name that works, right? Like I said, lopsided Larry. So he was lopsided Larry.
In
giant.
August.
Giant. Yeah, in August. Giant. So then all of a sudden we see this other one who clearly is a descendant but isn't Larry. So it's like, whoa, hold on. Dewey Decimal System kicks into effect here. You take the first letter, Larry, and then you get a vowel. So you could, Larry was the grandfather. You could use an O. You could use an A. You could use an E, an I, anything. But then the next consonant has to be lower than the grandfather. So L-A-R for Larry, we had to step down. We went L-E-N for Lenny. And then we were thinking of all the other ones. I mean, this is what keeps you going when you just passed up a giant bull and you're walking away looking at each other like, why did we do that? All right, let's change the subject. Let's name him Lenny. And why would
Lenny would still be 2-horned, would still be a 360, 370 bull.
Unbelievable bull. And we have footage of him, too. Yep, we don't have to show it right now. Or do you have it? Let's put our producer to the test. Ah! All right, it's fine. But Lenny was money. Lenny came back up the hill. It was great.
And that's it. So we're going to get back to some stories here real quick. So talking about the season. So 2 days before the end of the season, Tim says, hey, man, Ricky is kicking our butt. It's hard. I want to possibly think about harvesting elk. So we said, hey, we're still on the quest to get Tim the bull of a lifetime. We still want to get him to where archery equipment puts the bull that he harvests in the books. We want to say, hey, man, your first bull is going to be a tank. So we start opening up our options. We knew where some other bulls were. We had this one section of dark timber. It held a bull every day. We said, hey, we know this bull's going to be reliable. Let's go check it out. We started working the bull. We called to him, and this bull barely wanted to play, and he kept a 400-yard distance. Yeah. And we pushed it. We kept talking about being aggressive in our calling. When it is time to be aggressive, put that pressure on him. If you look at 2 bulls in the wild, they're doing their thing, and never at any point in the wild do they just stay that distance. When it's time to go, they meet in the middle. They come at each other fast. So we pretended we were those bulls. We put the pressure on. We came hard. And literally, we're going, and the bull's 300 yards, 300 yards, 300 yards, 400 yards. And all of a sudden, we bugle, and he's 100 yards. And we're like, it's happening.
Change the game.
And literally, we're trying to figure out what to do in this scenario because we've made 5 sets and he's always been 400 yards away. We're stepping on twigs, and all of a sudden this bull is bugling, and it came in fast. A lot faster than we were ready to. And I've guided elk hunts for 10 years. I've been hunting, doing video stuff like this for the last 6 years. I've put 200-plus bulls on the ground. You've done a lot of hunting.
Yeah.
Our Scott, who's holding the camera, is a full-blown
stallion.
outfitter.
He's a guide, yeah.
I mean, so there's 3 of us that are somewhat, semi-involved in the industry, and it caught us off guard, and we're going to talk about what happened in that scenario. But we're going to play the clip right now, a real short 30-second clip of the exact moment when this bull caught us off guard and came in quick. I mean, you're watching it right there. I mean, this bull is literally coming in hard from lower left. Tim is in full draw.
I'm in full draw, but look how thick that is. He comes in and we look at each other like, we got to go. So I'm in full draw. Nate is ready to stop him.
I'm ranging. You can hear me ranging right there, 42 yards. I tell him how far it is.
But I have no shot. We are in such thick timber, we weren't even able to move to get a lane. So I'm whispering to Nate right here. I'm like, Nate, I don't have a shot. So you see me walking backwards.
I'm just like, man,
I got to take 5 steps backwards.
I'm like, drop down. Move.
He's looking right at me.
Whatever you got to do.
Right at me. I got to move back. And we both reacted at the same exact moment.
I mean, right there. It flies, and there you go.
40, whatever it was, 48 yards. I'm shooting in a lane that's like nothing. I mean, the lane is like this, man. And I'm like thinking about the arc. And this bull looks at me, and his eyes, I swear, our eyes connected. It was crazy. And I said, it's now or never. I got the pin behind the shoulder, and I just went, dunk. At the same exact time, the fastest flinch of his life, guaranteed. He was, and I watched that Luminot go right past his head. He moved his whole body and got out. And and then what was I saying? Here's a professional who's like, and I'm like, call, come on, he'll come back.
He's grabbing my bugle too, calling.
You're like halfway back to the truck. You're like, blew that.
340-inch bull.
He was not. Yeah, he was halfway to the next county by the time we even talked.
But so here's the scenario. So we weren't quite set up. When it happens, it's elk hunting. We're not in a tree stand. I mean, it's a fast-paced game.
Yeah.
A lot of elk hunters out there, you know exactly what we're talking about. You're relying. But a lot of you have never done it. I mean, it's a fast-paced situation. You're calling, you're moving, and this bull came in quick.
Yeah.
And what we struggled with was, number one, I should have told Tim, hey, you stop him when you're ready, as opposed to me stopping him. But
no, hold on. Because we haven't talked about this. Let's talk about this right now. Because I know you said that after the fact, but I was ready to stop him. I just wasn't going to stop him in this huge traffic jam of leaves and trees and twigs. So I was waiting for him to kind of circle us, which, yes, we could have been winded very easily. Yeah. However, there was a lane that was maybe 3 foot wide, 70 degrees off. So Nate stopped him, and then I was like, oh, man, he stopped him. I got to react, so I had to take the step back. But I was ready to stop him. I had to call in.
So but again, it's all about the plan. So the guy with the bow is so focused on the shot, then the guy with the call back, he's just doing nothing but working the bull so he doesn't pinpoint us. Yeah. So there's 3 of us literally all touching each other. The caller was not 30 yards back like you talked about. Yeah, and the bull's coming. While Tim draws on his bull, you can see me over that shoulder. I'm literally just looking to the side, and I'm looking at lanes. And I'm like, where is he going to shoot? Where is he going to shoot? And as that bull's coming up, he's looking. And unfortunately, the only wide spot on the mountain, which is a great shooting lane, is where we're standing.
Yes.
We're wide open, and the bull's in the cover, opposite of what you should be. So I'm sitting there looking, and all I'm thinking to myself is, once he hits that tree, he's got 10 foot of thick, and then he's got that nice shooting lane. I'm like, he's never going to get there. He's going to get to that thickness. He's going to pinpoint us, and it's over. So that's when we're like,
I get it.
I stop him, and again, it turns into a cluster. And, I mean, the bull allowed us to move. And I think that's another thing that I want to talk about tonight is so many people are used to, say, hunting deer or whitetails, and they get so frozen they can't ever move. And elk, you have that 5-6 seconds.
We had
take a step.
We had 6 seconds.
3-4 feet and sat.
I got down. I shot on my knee, I think.
Yep.
I was on my knee.
It's just a matter of if you have the time. And that bull just happened. I mean, literally a half a second. Totally broadside. and we let that arrow fly, and that thing spun and missed it. So
I've been watching the Instagram feed here, and we got a couple of questions. One, ING Outdoors, thank you. You've been super active. You guys crushing it here. But he asked, hey, how can we see this footage that they're talking about? If you guys weren't here at the top, if you're on Instagram, you have to get over to our website. Instagram doesn't allow us to connect all our computers and cameras and everything to Instagram yet. We just got to use a phone, so you can't see what everyone else is seeing. So bowtecharchery.com, you can always see it there, and text the word watch to 313131, and every time we go live with Nate's shows and others, you get to see that, and you can go get a link right to our website. So that's why you're not seeing the footage that everyone else is seeing.
Yeah, you just go there and you see it. But, I mean, this bull, it just happened so quick, so, you know, the failures of communication, and that's the thing that we didn't do it because, again, we all rely on ourselves of being, you know, legit on our stop. And that's where, if you do have a team, you know, by yourself, even though you don't make bad decisions, you call them yourself so nobody is in trouble. When you're with a group, that's where you all have to be in sync. And the caller has to know, hey, I need to call at the right times where he doesn't stop in a bad lane. And, you know, me personally, while I'm looking at the lanes, I need to reach out to him, hey, I don't think he's going to come this far.
Yeah.
You know, second you see vitals, let's make that shot. And, you know, there's so much that goes on, and in most situations it doesn't happen that fast. And, you know, live and learn. A 340-inch bull, a Mega 6 53-inch beams, is eating grass right now because of our lack of communication.
He's living a great life.
By a half a second, I mean, is all we needed. But a half second is literally make or break in this type of situation. It was a clean, 100% clean miss, and we're really thankful for that.
That was great. I mean,
arrow was in flight when that bull literally took a step. I mean, that's...
It was unbelievable, and I knew right where my arrow went, and I went down, and there it was in a log like 30 yards behind him. It had made it through the trees. So, all right, that was a good one.
It is what it is. I mean, that's it. You know, but the failures are it. So we're going to take that as a lesson and just take 2 seconds to talk about that. Think about the communication. If you're by yourself, those are the things that should be going through your head. If you're calling a big bull, or as we approach whitetail season, I mean, literally, it's that time where we are in full peak for the whitetails. You're in your tree stand, in the blind, stalking, whatever you're doing for these whitetails. You know, think about all those situations. Say, hey, you know, as he's coming in, where am I going to stop him? You know, is he going to stop immediately, or is he going to take one step after I stop him? Think about all the situations that could lead to failure. The failure is what you learn from. Think about the failure points and try to overcome them, and think about every situation. The type of situations that when I used to do a lot of whitetail hunting, or excuse me, a lot of tree stand hunting for whitetails, mule deer, everything, we used to hang flags on the ground. And that's one of the big things that I think so many people don't do anymore. You know, it's considered old school. You know, people that don't do these steps. But how many times do you have to range up to have confidence? Most of us bow hunters want to have that final range before we pull back. When I'm in the tree stand, I used to just put ribbon. All my pink ribbon was 20 yards. All my green ribbon was 30 yards. All my orange ribbon is 4, whatever.
So
and I
organized.
make a circle around your stand. But when that buck comes in, you don't even have to think about that movement. You know, all of a sudden you're going to shoot him at 20 and he runs off to 40. You're like, I'm in full draw, but I got to undraw to re-range. You just say, oh, there's a pink ribbon right there.
I like that one. You know, you're big on ribbons. Your ribbons are your huge things. Antelope, you're like, yeah, you know, put up a ribbon and see, you know, for your trail cam, put up a ribbon to see which way the wind's blowing when they're coming in. It all helps.
Ribbons. Simplest things.
Stock and ribbons.
How many of you know the distance? You know, we all have that tree, but the animal trots off a little bit and you're like, what is it? I don't know what it is, you know.
It's 5 of those trees.
Type things. The failure is what we all learn from.
Yeah.
It's how you get better. It's how you become more successful. And sometimes our list of failures are a book and we're not even close to making successful. But in a lot of other situations, we are this close to being successful. Yeah. And it's the little things that take you there. So think about all those small things. If you have a camera guy with you, which side is he sitting on? You know, I had a major fail point during the muzzleloader season, which I don't really think we talked about that much. You know, I'm hunting with a buddy, got a muzzleloader tag. We're set up on the edge of this meadow, and it's one of the bulls that we harvested. It's that big bull. We can throw a clip later. But we literally could have shot that bull 50 minutes earlier had I thought about the small things. My buddy that I'm hunting with is left-handed. So we're sitting on the edge of this bush looking down a meadow. He's sitting there next to me, and I can literally lean my head out, and I can see the bull. And there's cows looking, so we can't lean it very far. I'm like, hey, just lean over and shoot. He goes, I'm left-handed. I'm like, what do you mean? His whole body has to shift 2 feet to make that shot. Luckily, it started downpouring rain, so as the cows surrounded us, had the whole herd, 80 cows around us, they didn't wind us because it was downpouring rain, and we were able to wait until the bull came out. I could call to him, stop him, we could take the shot. Had it been a normal day, normal wind, not thinking about his left-handed situation would have cost us the animal. We would have lost it. Yeah. So the situation of him being a slide out was not an option. Had I known that at the beginning, I would have set up on the other side of the bush, favoring his left arm, and we would have had the bull down. Luckily, it worked out for us. But again, it's those little things, the communication, the thought process, the tape on this side of the mountain or the hill, wherever you're shooting. All the small things come into play when it's time to be successful or not successful. And I know you can sit there and think about everybody's watching the hunts that you've been this close on that you haven't thought about. And again, as we go forth in this season, some of us are done with our tags, some of us are just starting. Those are the type of things you need to think about right now. Plan ahead. Plan can you walk back and kneel down and take the shot? How fast do you shoot? Yeah. Everything comes into play. But think about the small things, and I promise it's going to lead to more successful hunts as you go forth in the season. So
I like it.
Little things do everything.
Learned a lot. I'm ready for next year. I'm only 11 months away.
There you go. All right, guys. Now, the one big topic we're going to talk about here tonight before we kind of wrap up, we want to talk about being a multiple season hunter, or whatever you want to call this fact. But I think that if you look across the board, 90% of our hunters out there look at the season title, we'll say, and that's how they go forth. So in Colorado, say, hey, I am a muzzleloader, right? I have a muzzleloader tag, I have a muzzleloader deer tag, a muzzleloader elk tag. So I'm going to go out and use a muzzleloader. Why don't we use a crossbow?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to think about, but the main reason we're talking about this is there's a lot of opportunities in Colorado, in Wyoming, in Utah, in all these states, especially Western, especially for the elk thing, where guys get so caught up in a title. Hey, I just want to bow hunt, and we love that. We're bow hunters.
Sure, yeah.
I just want to bow hunt. But everybody sticks to that bow hunting season. As where all of a sudden you look forth, let's say, hey, in the area that I'm hunting, a bow tag takes 9 points to draw. Some of these areas in the state might take that. Well, all of a sudden you say, hey, man, a second rifle tag is the least desirable tag in that unit. It takes 2 points. Sure. Why can't I take a different tag? In Colorado, a rifle tag, I still have to wear orange, but I can downgrade my weapon.
Yeah, always.
I can take a rifle tag, wear orange, and I can bow hunt during a different season. And it might be for the fact of a migration hunt. Hey, I know that these animals migrate through this area. Why shouldn't I hunt? Why would I chase them, 20 miles from the truck during an archery season when I know winter's going to drive them down to these valleys and I'm going to have mass groups? Or, hey, I am so sick of getting busted by cows. Why don't I hunt these bulls when they're solo? In that type of situation. Like the biggest thing for us that we see is the deer. So a mountain mule deer, again for us in our stages, we have Eastern Plains, low-lying elevation near where we hunt, and we get to hunt the deer in the rut in November, Thanksgiving, on an Eastern Plains tag. Our mountain mule deer are running the same thing, middle of November, and that falls under a 4th-week rifle tag. One of the most entertaining hunts that we have in Colorado is chasing our rutting deer with bows. Our mountain mule deer with archery equipment is unbelievable, but yet 1% of the population tries it. So the main thing we're going to talk about here, guys, is, again, the opportunity of whatever weapon choice you guys want to try to use. The opportunity is just think outside the box. We always talk about that with calling, with stands. Thinking outside the box so many times is going to open up the doors to create opportunity that might make you more successful. It might lead to new opportunities, new, just goals that you can, accomplish. And a lot of times you're going to be very successful. Again, I do a lot of that later hunt with a bow.
Last year.
It's areas where I can't draw a bow tag very often, but I can draw a rifle tag, and I just go hunting with my bow. I might be limited to 9 days versus a 30-day season. Sure. But regardless, I hit it hard, and a lot of times I use it to my advantage. Again, the bulls are totally solo. When you're talking about chasing a big 365 bull like this, or any of those, when they're around cows and that, we have the benefit of them bugling, which we love. But, some of these herds like Ricky, Ricky's that satellite bull that Ricky's hanging out with, that lead cow, they are so tricky. It took us an hour and a half to stalk on them that day we got to 80 because there was cows everywhere. All of a sudden, that first, second, third rifle, whatever it may be, again, whether you're talking dates, you're in a different state, an October, November animal, generally speaking, these bulls are solo. I know that when it gets cold in October, November, this big bull is away from the cows, and all of a sudden he starts sitting and bedding on open hillsides to gain warmth. It's a whole lot easier sneaking up on this bull, even in October, November, by himself
without all those
than
eyes.
it is sneaking up in September. So again, we just talk about that because there's so many opportunities. And a lot of times as we're doing this, the main thing that spiked this, I had a ton of questions, guys being like, man, we got your live feed, we got Jazz for archery hunting, and as we went forth with this season, we missed the opportunity. We don't have a bow tag. We didn't have a bow, but we're psyched about hunting. And people are like, I want to be a bow hunter, but how do I get involved? Do I have to wait next year? Absolutely not.
Yep.
Get your bow, get a rifle tag, still wear your orange, and get out there. But again, the opportunities, thinking outside the box, will put more animals on the ground than anything else out there. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. Just always think about every situation. Don't get caught up in the headlines. Don't get caught up in the mainstream media. Think about the opportunities and what's best for you. And a lot of times you're going to find opportunities that exist a little better.
You know, and there's a good point there because my father came with us on the last night of archery season. He's from Pennsylvania. We're in Colorado. He's out here helping me build a house, but took him out with me. And, you know, he hadn't hunted in 25 years. Yep. But it inspired him just being out there and everything. He can't pull a vertical bow back. Yep. He's not going to be able to do it. So, you know, not only the seasons, but I think, you know, looking at crossbows, a lot of people turn their nose up to a crossbow, but, you know, you get that shoulder injury, you get that, you just can't do well in cold weather, but you want to go get that rifle tag when you know the snow's going to be on the ground. You know, get out there and hunt. You know, get the weapon that's going to be good for you, that's legal, that's going to give you more opportunity. And Illinois, you know, just opened crossbow, and it's unbelievable how many people are going out and getting crossbows because, you know, it's a whole new season for them.
Absolutely. So, no, just a lot of opportunity. And like the crossbow thing, we talked about that for the fact that we know a lot of, you know, especially in like the Midwest and things like this, where you're even during the rifle season you can use them. Where I know people that have farms and ranches that are, you know, not in the city, but they're close enough to where the landowner's like, I do not allow gun hunting.
Yep.
But you can go in there and say, hey, I'll use a crossbow, and you can open the doors to a lot of opportunity. And in Colorado, even out here, we're starting to have a lot of areas that are archery equipment only, you know, and crossbow only, mainly for the fact that, again, residents are near, so they want to make sure they can control that trajectory. So there's a lot of opportunities like that, you know, again, you might have to be a rifle tag, and it's not even a law that you have to use a crossbow, but you can get new leases, new property for the fact of that. I know a lot of guys are using crossbow in the rifle seasons because they have unbelievable leases, and they don't want to scare the deer. So I have some buddies in Wisconsin that have, you know, they all pitch in, they got 4 or 5 leases together, and they're like, hey, whatever you do, don't fire a rifle because we know all the deer on our property are gone. So they're all using crossbows for the fact strictly to keep game on their property. So again, a lot of opportunities exist. The moral of tonight's story, guys, and tonight's goal is to talk about that, about learning from your failures, number one.
Yep.
Have that communication. Think about all the situations in which you've struggled in the past. How do you overcome those for the future? And then also, think about all the opportunities that exist that you might not have taken advantage of. Different weapon choices during different seasons, different times of year. But think about, again, the struggles. Hey, we kept getting busted by cows. How do I eliminate that? Hunt a bull when they're by themselves. Hey, I've always wanted to hunt running mule deer, but I'm a bow hunter. Draw the rifle tag and hunt them in that situation. Again, there's so many things out there that you can manipulate, and a lot of times tags are easier to get in that manipulation to create more opportunity, and that's really what it's about, you, the hunter. We also have a huge thanks, guys. Also, thank you so much for joining us Tuesday instead of Monday. This is our first Tuesday night live feed.
You didn't want to go up against Monday Night Football.
Didn't want to compete about that.
Really?
More importantly, the 4th of July, the Labor Day, the Memorial was really struggling. So
those Mondays, I get it. Well, hey.
Guys, this is home. We will be here Tuesday every single night. So
until we change it. Until we change it. Hey, listen, thanks for doing this. And by the way, anybody, you know, for the people that hang on here, right? Because, you know, this is a long show. We're 33 minutes in. I wanted to drop a couple of nuggets. Number one, we're working on a muley hunt that will be live. It's I bought a tag, or I bought a hunt that you're going to get the tag. I'm going to go out and shadow you. We're going to take some cameras, and that's going to be truly live. The problem with our Colorado hunt, which we should explain, is the reason that we didn't have so much, you know, as much live content as we wanted, is we kept getting pushed. We had a zone of cell service where we had a couple of live things. With Ricky, it was giant, and cell service. So, you know, but here in Colorado, at the elevations that we are in the area, it just there's no cell service. So we try to get back as quick as possible, and you've done a great job in your show, but. This South Dakota muley hunt, we've confirmed with the guys in the property that we've got cell service, so that's going to be fun.
That'll be huge.
That'll be going live. That'll be like a 2-3 day period.
Absolutely.
people will be able to actually chime in and kind of guide where we're going. We're working on some other live hunts there.
Definitely.
And then you have an awesome tag. So Ricky may hit the dirt and end up right next to these other racks that we've got in here. So I know you don't want to divulge too much of that.
We got a later season tag where I personally, again, a lot of people have been saying, hey, Nate, how come you haven't got your bull? How haven't you got your bull? Again, we never said that we were hunting. I've been out there watching all the opportunities. And again, I take every advantage of the tags that are available, things like that. And actually with Tim hunting, we devoted all of our time to that, to where I didn't actually purchase a Colorado tag. So I'll have a tag coming forth in the next month or so, where I will be back after Ricky with our tag.
You know what I just realized? You knew you were going to be able to hunt after my hunt. So maybe my hunt didn't go as well as it could have.
You never know. But if Ricky goes down the first day, we'll start to see the results and what's happening.
Well, I will say, this year, be sure you keep tuning in, because Ricky will hit the dirt. Because last year, I called Nate out. He had a picture June 6th of this month. Is this guy? Yeah, this guy. He had a picture June 6th of this rack sitting next to me, which you've seen before. And I said, no way, it's June 6th. You're going to kill that thing? November 12th? November 12th. I went with him, 17 miles, whatever it was. And that thing hit the ground. So this guy knows what he's talking about.
A lot of animals. So
even though he didn't get mine down, this guy knows his stuff.
We'll stick with it, guys. We want to walk you through it. We want to take your questions. Our goal is all the opportunities of public land, fair chase, guys, with do-it-yourself type hunts. We want to walk you through everything we can. We're not the experts. We try to contact the experts. We just try to take you through the experiences that we've had that have been successful for us to make you guys more successful, bring you the education, teach you how to do it yourself, be smart hunters with smart equipment, and hopefully that'll help you out be successful.
Can I plug a couple things before we close here? Number one, Chef Collins, our boy. Wednesdays, he's back, he's live. He's been up moose hunting. He's got some cool stuff. So Wednesday live, he's at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Randy Newberg is crushing it. Gosh, this guy just knows how to put elk down, man. He's been in New Mexico. I think he's in Wyoming now. He's got Montana hunts. So check out Elk Talk with Randy. That's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Sean McVay as well. If you're into the whitetail thing, you know, Eastern whitetail, Sean McVay has some really good stuff on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern. So anyway, all this is on bowtecharchery.com. Bowtech
Live. It all comes down to texting WATCH to 313131.
That's right.
All of it comes out then.
Yeah. So you get a link right to the page. You get to understand what we have going on, and you know, keep it coming. As the director of digital strategy here at Bowtech Brands, that includes Diamond, Excalibur, everything else. We're excited for more. We have some new bow launches. This is the first time anybody's ever said that. We have some new bow launches that are pretty close here.
I didn't know what I was allowed to say.
No, you're not allowed to say anything. I'm not allowed to say anything, but that's coming very soon. You're going to be a big part of that, and that's going to be all live, and you guys are going to, the consumers are going to get that first. They're going to see it before anybody.
Live hunts with new stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge
Keep watching.
Again, Bowtech, Diamond, Black Gold Sights, Ripcord, Tight Spot Quivers, Bass Pro, Denver, Excalibur, Tightline Doors, Nate Zelinsky. Guys on the website, guys. Again, huge. Join us next week, every single week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific. We will be back. Join us there. Bring your questions, guys. Next, we're going to be doing a lot of question and answers. We want to talk about your situation, your struggles, your failures, your success. Bring it out to the public, and we'll do that. We'll also might start taking some call-ins here. So join us next week. We'll be in soon.
Wow. Technology. It's going to be awesome. Taking calls. FaceTimes?